Roland Nelson was running for his life. Well, not his real life, but his freedom? Yes. Behind him, 6 security guards in black suits shouted into their radios. "Stop the young master. Madam says bring him back for the blind date." He ran into a narrow alley, his shiny shoes splashing through puddles. His mother had finally lost patience. After escaping 12 arranged marriages in 2 years, she had sent the whole security team after him. "Just one dinner," she had said that morning. "Meet the Basie girl. She's smart, beautiful, and from a good family." He knew what that meant: sit through boring small talk, pretend to care about a stranger, and agree to marry her just to make his grandfather happy. No way. So he had jumped out of a second-floor window instead. Now he was somewhere in Makako, the fishing area on the Lagos mainland. The smell of salt water and dried fish filled the air. Wooden boats floated along the canal. Women balanced baskets on their heads, shouting prices to customers. Roland had never been here before. His world was Victoria Island: tall buildings, fancy houses, and air-conditioned offices. This place was noisy, crowded, and honestly, a little exciting. "There he is," one guard shouted. He ran faster, his chest burning. Turning a corner, he crashed right into a fish market table. He fell hard. Fish scattered across the wet ground. "Hey, watch where you're going," a woman's voice snapped. He looked up. A young woman stood over him, hands on her hips. Her arms were strong from hard work, and her eyes were sharp and serious. "I'm sorry," he gasped. "I'll pay for the fish." "You'll do more than that," she said, pulling him behind her stall. "Get down." "What?" "Quiet. Stay low." The guards came around the corner seconds later. "Have you seen a man run past here? Tall, wearing fancy clothes." The woman, Bridget, from the sign on her stall, didn't even look up. "Lots of men walk by here. You'll need to be more specific." "Young, handsome, out of breath." "This is Lagos," she said calmly as she kept arranging her fish. "Now, are you buying fish or wasting my time?" They looked at each other. One wrinkled his nose at the smell. "Forget it. The young master wouldn't hide in a place like this." They walked away. Roland stayed quiet behind the small shop, heart pounding. This random fish seller had just lied to armed security guards. For him. A total stranger. "You can come out now," she said without looking at him. He stood up slowly, brushing his now ruined designer pants. "Thank you. I don't know why you helped me, but—" "I don't care about your drama," Bridget said, checking a large fish. "Just don't break my stall again." "Right. Of course." He reached for his wallet. His pocket was empty. Wallet and phone, gone. "Looking for this?" she asked, holding up a black card between 2 fingers. "It fell when you crashed into my stand." His eyes widened. That card had no spending limit. In the wrong hands, someone could steal millions. "I'll take it back now," he said carefully. "Obviously." She handed it over. "I'm not a thief." He stared at her. "You didn't even look at it." "Why would I? It's not mine." "Most people would at least check whose card it was." She looked straight at him. "I'm not most people. I work hard for what I earn. Now, are you paying for my fish or just standing there like a statue?" Something stirred in his chest. In his world, everyone wanted something. Money, power, favors. But this woman? She could have used that card or asked for a bribe. Instead, she just gave it back like it was nothing. A wild idea came to him, crazy, yes, but perfect. "What's your name?" he asked. "Bridget Okafor." "Why? How much do you make here every month?" She frowned. "That's none of your business." 50,000? 100,000. "You're very rude, you know that." "I'm serious. I want to hire you." She gave him a sharp look. "I sell fish. I don't do whatever strange rich person thing you're thinking about." He smiled. "I need a wife. For a short time. I'll pay you 500,000 naira every month." Her knife stopped mid-cut. She turned fully, eyes narrowed. "Say that again?" "Marry me. Just a contract marriage, 6 months, maybe a year. You'll get paid monthly. When it's over, we go our separate ways." "I'm desperate," he said. "My family won't stop chasing me until I get married." And you need money, no offense, but this small fish shop won't make you rich. We both get what we want. She put down her knife. So you want me, a fish seller from Makako, to pretend to be your wife in front of your rich family? Yes. They'll never believe it. They don't need to like it. They just need to accept it, he said, meeting her eyes. I chose you. That's all that matters. 500,000 per month. Every month. Guaranteed. Bridget looked at her small fish shop, then at the busy market around them. He could see her thinking. I have conditions, she said at last. Name them. My family owes money. My mother has hospital bills. My brother needs school fees. That money goes to them first. Done. And I don't do anything strange. This is just business. Completely understood. She studied him for a moment, then stretched out her hand, still smelling faintly of fish. You have yourself a deal, Roland Nelson. He shook her hand, smiling. How did you know my name? She pointed to the black card still in his hand. It's written there. I may sell fish, but I can read. He couldn't help laughing. His mother wanted him married? Fine. He would show up with a wife she would never expect. 3 days later, Bridget stood outside the biggest house she'd ever seen, a mansion. The Nelson family home spanned several acres in Ikoyi, with tall white pillars at the gate and a fountain in the center of the round driveway. Through the big windows, she could see shiny lights and crystal chandeliers. Having second thoughts? Roland asked, walking up beside her, calm and confident in his fine suit. Just wondering if I'm dressed too simply, she said, glancing down at the Ankara dress her mother had sewn by hand. In this place, she felt like she was dressed for the market, not a wedding. You look fine. I look like a maid. You look like yourself. That's what matters. He offered his arm. Inside, the marble floors and expensive furniture intimidated her. Large paintings hung on the walls, and everything looked too fancy. Then, a woman walked down the grand staircase, wearing a rich-looking wrapper and gold jewelry. Her face showed one clear emotion, disappointment. So, the woman said, eyeing her from head to toe. This is her. Mother, this is Bridget Okafor. My fiancée, Roland said. Fiancée? She repeated. Where did you two meet? Bridget thought quickly. It was raining. I was selling fish when I slipped. My basket fell, and everything scattered. Roland's mother didn't react. Still cold. Roland was passing by, Bridget continued. He helped me pick everything up. Our hands touched when we reached for the same fish. He touched fish. Roland's mother's eyebrows shot up. My son hates dirt. He won't even pick up money from the ground. That's true, Roland quickly added. But when I saw Bridget struggling, I couldn't just walk past. Something about her strength. Bridget added fast, his eyes were shining. I told him no at first, of course. I'm a busy woman. No time for love. Obviously, Roland's mother said dryly. But he didn't give up, Bridget continued. He came to my stall every day, bought fish even though he doesn't cook, and sat and talked to me when the market was slow. One day, when I hurt my ankle, he carried me to the hospital. That part was a complete lie, but she was enjoying her story now. He even bought me medicine, she added. And unwrapped sweets for me because I hate bitter ones. How could I say no to a man like that? Roland's mother softened. My son did all that. Every bit, Roland said with a straight face. Just then, an older man entered, Roland's grandfather, walking with a cane. Behind him was a younger man. So the lost grandson finally brings someone home, the old man said. Let's see this woman. Grandfather, Uncle Henry, this is Bridget, Roland introduced. Henry Nelson slowly walked around her. A fish seller? Really, Roland? The family business is worth billions, and you bring a girl who smells like the ocean. I don't smell like anything, she snapped before she could stop herself. Henry smiled. Tell me, does Roland know about your family? Your brother, the one with the police case. Her heart stopped. How did he know that? My brother was falsely accused, she said firmly. The case was dropped. After your family paid money to settle it. Tell me, where did a poor fish seller get that kind of money? That's enough, Roland said sharply. But his grandfather lifted a hand. Let her answer. I want to know the kind of people we're dealing with. Bridget spoke firmly. My family took me in 3 years ago when I had nothing. They fed me, gave me a home, treated me like their own. When my brother got in trouble, we faced it together. That's what real families do. 3 years ago? Roland's grandfather frowned. You're not their real daughter. No, sir, she said honestly. They found me hurt and confused. I didn't remember where I came from. They could have left me, but they didn't. So yes, I'm selfish. Yes, I'm adopted. But I work hard, I'm loyal, and I make my family proud. The room went quiet. Then Roland's mother spoke. The pregnancy. How far are you? She blinked. Pregnancy? You've been staring at the fruit bowl since you came in, Roland's mother said. And you keep touching your stomach. You're expecting, aren't you? Oh no. She had been nervous and hungry, eyeing the fruits. She had also been rubbing her stomach because of stress. She said in her mind, think fast, Bridget. Yes. She placed her hand on her flat belly. We wanted to wait before telling you, but yes. I'm pregnant. Roland's head turned sharply in shock. With twins, she added quickly, before she could stop herself. Twins. Roland's mother gasped. But, Bridget forced out a shaky voice. I was so ashamed. I didn't want to bring disgrace to this family. Roland wanted me to end it before meeting you all. End it? Roland's grandfather shouted. You got rid of my great-grandchildren? I did it for the family's honor, she cried. But now I hear them at night, calling for me, calling for their grandmother. She looked straight at Roland's mother. Can't you hear them? The woman's face twisted in shock. My grandchildren, 2 of them, gone. She fainted. Mother. Roland caught her as she fell. Call the doctor. Henry shouted. Bridget pushed through the panic. Something inside her took over, calm and sharp. She checked the woman's pulse and breathing, tilted her head back for air. Everyone move back, she ordered. Give her space. You, bring a first aid kit. Now. Her hands worked quickly and confidently. Within minutes, Roland's mother's eyes opened. What happened? She whispered. You fainted, Bridget said softly. You're fine now. Just breathe slowly. Roland's mother stared at her. You know medicine. I learned a few things, she said. First aid training. You know, for accidents at the market. But the look on everyone's faces said they didn't believe her. Roland's grandfather stepped forward. Bridget Okafor, you saved my daughter-in-law's life today. You carry my great-grandchildren, you stood up to Henry's insults. He nodded slowly. Maybe Roland made a good choice after all. Thank you, sir. Don't thank me yet, he warned. We'll be watching you closely. Later, on the drive back to the mainland, Roland finally spoke. Twins? Really? I panicked. You told my family you ended fake pregnancies. It worked, didn't it? She sighed, sinking into the seat. Your mother now likes me. Because she thinks you ended her grandchildren's lives. Ghost grandchildren, she corrected. There's a difference. He moaned. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought. 500,000 naira per month, she reminded him. That's the deal. Right, he said. The deal. He glanced at her. Where did you learn those medical skills? I don't know. My hands just knew what to do. They sat in silence as Lagos traffic moved slowly around them. For what it's worth, he said quietly, you were amazing back there. Thanks. You were a good liar too. High praise from the woman who invented ghost twins. She laughed softly. She didn't know what she had just gotten herself into. But 500,000 naira a month would change her family's life. Whatever came next, she would handle it, one lie at a time. The invitation arrived on expensive cardstock with gold lettering. You are cordially invited to celebrate the engagement of Henry Nelson and Jennifer Basie. Bridget held it up to the light. Your cousin is getting married. Apparently. Roland didn't look up from his laptop. We don't have to go. It says attendance mandatory at the bottom. That's just Henry being dramatic. He sighed and closed his laptop. Fine, we'll make an appearance. 2 hours maximum. I don't have anything to wear to a fancy party, she said. I'll have something sent over. The next day, a dress arrived in a box bigger than Bridget's old fish stall. She opened it carefully, half expecting something ridiculous. Instead, she found a simple but elegant blue dress. Exactly her size. How did you know my measurements? She asked Roland. Lucky guess. That's creepy. Would you prefer I got it wrong? She had no good answer to that. They arrived at the Basie mansion. Bridget counted at least 50 guests mingling in the garden. String lights hung from trees. A live band played smooth jazz. Waiters circulated with champagne and small bites. Everyone looked expensive. Stay close to me, Roland murmured as they entered. Planning to run off? Planning to keep you safe. Before she could ask what that meant, a woman's voice cut through the music. Well, well. Look who decided to show up. A woman walked gracefully toward them in a white dress. Her smile was bright and welcoming. Then she saw Bridget's face. Jennifer stopped mid-step. Her smile froze. The champagne glass in her hand trembled slightly. No. Impossible. It couldn't be. That face, those eyes. Amora's face. She's alive. She's alive. How is she alive? Jennifer's mind raced. 3 years. 3 years since she'd pushed her off that cliff. I watched her fall into the darkness. There was no way she could have survived that fall. But here she was, standing in Jennifer's garden with Roland Nelson. Does she remember? Does she know who I am and what I did? Jennifer forced her smile wider. Her heart hammered, but she kept her voice sweet. Roland. So good of you to come. She let her eyes slide to Bridget, studying her carefully. And you brought her. My wife, Roland said firmly. Bridget, this is Jennifer. Bridget. Not Amora. She's calling herself Bridget. A spark of hope. Maybe she doesn't remember, or maybe the fall caused amnesia. But for how long? How long until the memories return? The fish seller. Jennifer laughed, her mind working fast. I've heard so much about you. She had to act quickly. If Bridget's memories came back, everything would be destroyed. The Basie fortune, her position, her life. Jennifer's eyes landed on the dessert table across the garden. The pink cotton candy she'd made herself. Mango extract. Bridget was deathly allergic to mango. 1 bite. That's all it would take. Tell me, do you still smell like the market, or did Roland buy you proper soap? Jennifer walked around them, her mind already planning. She would offer the dessert, make it seem like hospitality, an unfortunate accident. No one would suspect murder. By morning, Bridget would be dead. For real this time. Several guests nearby turned to look. Bridget felt her face heat up. I bathe regularly, thanks. How modern of you. Jennifer kept her voice light, but her eyes never left Bridget's face, searching for any sign of recognition. Good. She really doesn't remember. You know, this family deserves better than someone who gets fish for a living. Jennifer, Roland's voice held a warning. Don't what? Tell the truth? Everyone here knows she's a gold digger. You married beneath you, darling. Way beneath. Bridget's fists clenched. Every eye in the garden was on them now. At least I earned my money, she said quietly. I didn't steal it from someone else. The words came out before she could stop them. Where had that come from? Jennifer's blood ran cold. No. It was just a generic insult. She couldn't possibly know. But her smile vanished for just a second before returning, colder than before. You little ladies. Henry appeared between them, smiling like this was the best entertainment he'd had in months. Let's not cause a scene at my engagement party. Jennifer, darling, why don't you show Bridget around? Make her feel welcome. Of course. The smile returned, but it didn't reach her eyes. Bridget, you must be hungry. Come with me. I've prepared something special. Roland grabbed her hand. She's fine here. Don't be rude, cousin. I'm just being a good hostess. Jennifer linked her arm through Bridget's and pulled her away before Roland could stop her. They walked toward the dessert table set up near the fountain. Pink and white decorations covered everything. In the center sat piles of cotton candy in different colors. I made these myself, Jennifer said sweetly. Try one. The pink ones are my favorite. Bridget's stomach growled. She'd been too nervous to eat before coming. Go ahead, Jennifer urged, her heart racing. Unless you're too good for my cooking. Something felt wrong, the way she watched, her smile, but refusing would cause another scene. Bridget took a small pink cloud of cotton candy. It tasted strange. Fruity, but not quite right. Good, isn't it? Jennifer's eyes shone with anticipation. Bridget took another bite. Then her throat started to tighten. What? She couldn't finish the sentence. Her chest felt heavy. Breathing was suddenly hard. Oh dear. Jennifer's voice was distant, but inside she was triumphant. Are you feeling all right? You look terrible. Bridget's vision blurred. She tried to walk back toward Roland, but her legs wouldn't cooperate. The ground tilted. Someone screamed. Then everything went dark. Jennifer watched her collapse with satisfaction. Finally, it was done. But she needed to finish this. Make sure she was really dead this time. Someone help. Jennifer called out, playing the concerned hostess. She's collapsed. Quick, take her somewhere quiet. A man appeared at her side, one of her hired hands. He nodded slightly. He knew what to do. Carry Bridget to a private room. Stage a scene. Make it look like an affair gone wrong. By morning, both Bridget and her reputation would be destroyed. Jennifer smiled as they carried the unconscious woman away. This time, she wouldn't survive. When she woke up, she was in a small room. Her head ached. Finally awake. She looked up. A man stood over her, not Roland. He was older, his eyes were mean, and he smelled of alcohol. Who are you? She stammered. A friend of Jennifer's, he said, smiling in a way that made her skin shivers. She said you needed a quiet place to rest. Very kind of her, don't you think? He sat beside her on the bed, too close. Don't, Bridget said weakly, trying to move away. Her body felt heavy, the drug still in her system. Relax, the man whispered. We're just going to have a little fun. Tomorrow, everyone will hear that Roland's wife cheated at his cousin's party. Fear cut through the confusion in her head. This wasn't an accident. It was a trap. The man grabbed her arm. Something in Bridget snapped. Her body moved on its own. She twisted his wrist sharply, a crack echoed in the room. The man screamed. Before he could react, she hit him hard in the throat with her elbow. He fell, choking and gasping. Bridget stood on unsteady legs. Her hands moved like they had a mind of their own. She knew exactly where to strike, like she'd been trained. She staggered to the door and pulled it open. Roland was there, eyes wide, with several security guards behind him. Bridget. He rushed to her. Are you hurt? I'm fine. She pointed to the man on the floor. The cotton candy had mango in it. I'm allergic. I know, Roland said, his voice shaking. I remembered after you collapsed. I've been searching every room. He gently touched her face. We need to get you to a hospital. No hospital, she whispered. I need air. They stepped outside. The cool breeze hit her face, then her knees weakened. Roland caught her before she fell. I've got you, he whispered. You're safe now. For the first time since this fake marriage began, Bridget believed him. But even as her vision faded again, one thought kept turning in her mind. Why did Jennifer look so familiar? Bridget woke up in a hospital bed. Machines beeped quietly beside her. Her throat was dry and rough. Water, she whispered. Roland was beside her in seconds, holding a cup with a straw. Take small sips, he said. She drank slowly, grateful for the cool water. How long have I been here? 2 days, Roland replied. The doctor said your allergic reaction was very bad. And with the drug that man gave you, you almost died, Bridget. But I didn't, she said softly. No. Because you fought back. The security video showed everything. You defeated a man twice your size. Bridget looked down at her trembling hands. I don't know how I did that. My body just reacted. Like it remembered something I didn't. Like it has its own memory? Roland asked. Exactly, she said. She looked at her hands again. Strong, steady hands. But whose hands were they, really? Roland sat near her bed. The police arrested Jennifer and her friend. They found mango extract in the cotton candy. Enough to kill you. She tried to kill me, Bridget said quietly. She wanted to destroy both of us, he explained. The plan was for people to find you with that man. There would be photos, witnesses, everything. The scandal would have ruined my family's name. They would have forced me to divorce you. She shook her head. Why did Jennifer hate me so much? Roland hesitated. I'm not sure you just met. What do you mean? He pulled out his phone and showed her a photo online. It was from a charity event 3 years ago, a group picture at a hospital fundraiser. Bridget froze. In the photo stood a young woman in a white doctor's coat, laughing with her arm around another woman, the same woman now known as Jennifer. The doctor's face was Bridget's face. That's me, she said shakily. But I don't remember this. I don't remember any of it. The caption says, Dear Amora Basie and her best friend Jennifer at the annual medical fundraiser, Roland read. Does that name mean anything to you? Amora, Bridget whispered the name slowly. It felt strange, yet familiar. I don't know. Maybe? Bridget, Roland said gently, I think you were someone else before. Someone important. Suddenly, flashes hit her mind. A hospital hallway. Bright lights. Someone shouting her name. Amora. Help me. Please. Then darkness. Water. Pain. Bridget gasped and held her head. It hurts, she groaned. Don't push it, Roland said, taking her hand. The doctor said your memories will return slowly. We'll figure this out together, I promise. But what if I don't want to remember? She asked. What if whoever I wasn't a good person? Roland shook his head. You saved my mother's life. You fought off a man trying to hurt you. You work hard for your family. You're a good person, Bridget, whoever you were before. Bridget looked away. She wasn't sure. The following morning, Bridget stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection. Who are you? She whispered. The woman in the mirror didn't answer. She looked like Bridget Okafor, the fish seller from Makako, but inside, something else was waking up. Someone who knew how to save lives, who could fight back. Someone named Amora Basie. Still talking to yourself? Roland's voice came from the doorway. He walked in, holding a cup of coffee. I need to find out the truth, Bridget said. All of it. I want to go to the Basie mansion. Roland frowned. That's where Jennifer lives now. It's too dangerous. Then I'll go alone. Absolutely not. Roland set the coffee down. If you're going, I'm going with you. This isn't your fight. You're my wife. That makes it my fight too. Bridget looked at him. Despite everything, warmth spread through her chest. The contract said marriage on paper only, she reminded him. I think we both stopped following that contract a long time ago. They stared at each other for a moment. It felt like something had shifted between them, though neither said a word. After we find the truth, he said softly, we should talk about what we really are to each other. I'd like that. But first, they had work to do. Roland made phone calls using every contact he had. By the afternoon, he returned with news. Jennifer Basie has been CEO of Basie Industries for 2 years, he said. But here's the strange part. No one can confirm who she really was before she turned 18. No childhood photos. No school records. Nothing. Like she didn't exist before she suddenly appeared in the Basie family, Bridget said. Exactly. And 3 years ago, right after Dr. Amora Basie disappeared, this Jennifer Basie appeared. She claimed to be a distant cousin who'd been studying abroad. Bridget's mind raced. She stole my identity. She took my place. But how? Roland asked. The Basie parents would have known their own daughter. Bridget's blood ran cold. Unless she killed them too. They sat in silence. The weight of that thought hung between them. Finally, Roland said, we need proof. Real proof. Not just memories or guesses. Where do we start? She asked. I have a friend at Lagos University teaching hospital, he said. If you were really Dr. Amora Basie, your surgical records would still be there. Can your friend get them? For you? Yes. 2 days later, they sat in Roland's office surrounded by files. Dozens of surgery reports, each signed Dr. Amora Basie. Bridget's hands shook as she read them. Complicated operations. Life-saving procedures. The medical word should have been strange to her, but they weren't. They felt familiar. "This one," she said, pointing to a report. "Emergency heart surgery on a 25-year-old man. Everyone said it was impossible. The damage was too bad." "Did the patient survive?" he asked. "Yes," she said softly. "Full recovery." She looked up. "The surgery was 3 years ago, right before I disappeared." "What was the patient's name?" Bridget checked the file, then froze. "Roland Nelson. Age 25. Roland went pale. "That can't be right. You had heart surgery 3 years ago?" "Yes. But the doctor never told me her name. She wore a mask the whole time." His voice broke a little. "You saved my life." "I think so," Bridget said quietly. "I don't remember it all, but when I read this file, my hands remember. The feel of the tools, the motion of stitching a heart. It's like my body remembers what my mind forgot." He stared at her in disbelief. "You've been in my life this whole time, and I never knew." "I didn't know either," she said. "How could I? After the surgery, I tried to find you, to thank you. But they told me you were gone. The hospital said you took sudden leave, and then the news said you were missing," he said. Bridget nodded slowly. "And I woke up on a beach with no memory. A kind family found me, fed me, gave me a name, Bridget Okafor." They sat there in silence, letting the truth sink in. What started as a fake marriage now felt like fate. "There's more," Roland said, breaking the quiet. He opened another file. "Your parents, the Basses, they died in a car crash 2 years ago." "I know," Bridget said. "You told me that. But look here, the date. It was exactly 1 year after you disappeared." He pointed at the report. "The police said the brakes were cut. Someone tampered with them. They suspected foul play but couldn't prove it." Bridget's voice turned cold. "Jennifer killed them. She pushed me off that cliff, stole my name, and when my parents got suspicious, she killed them too." "We still need evidence," Roland said. "Something solid that links her to it." Bridget thought hard. "If she's pretending to be me, there must be papers, birth records, medical files, family documents. Where would they be kept?" "In my father's study," she said slowly. "There was a safe behind his desk. That's where he kept everything important." "Then we need to get into that study. Jennifer lives there now. We can't just walk in." "No," Roland said with a small smile. "But we can sneak in." 3 days later, they had a plan. Jennifer was throwing a pre-wedding party. The mansion would be full of guests, music, and noise. Security would be watching the crowd, not the study. It was risky. Maybe even foolish. But it was their only chance. "Are you sure about this?" he asked as they prepared to leave. Bridget thought about the life Jennifer had stolen, her parents, her name, her years of memory. "I'm sure," she said firmly. "It's time to take back what's mine." They waited until nightfall. Then they drove toward the Basie mansion, toward answers, toward justice, and toward the truth of who Bridget Okafor really was. And toward the woman who had tried to erase her from the world. The city lights blurred past them. Bridget's heart pounded with anticipation. Tonight, she would finally get proof. Roland's phone rang. He glanced at the screen. His face went pale. "It's the hospital." He answered, putting it on speaker. "Mr. Roland, this is Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Your grandfather has suffered a severe heart attack. His condition is critical. You need to come immediately." Bridget's breath caught. Roland's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "We're on our way." He made a sharp U-turn, tires screeching. The Basie mansion disappeared behind them as they raced in the opposite direction. "The evidence will still be there," Bridget said quietly. "Your grandfather needs you now." Roland nodded. "Hold on, grandfather. We're coming." The phone call came at midnight. "Grandfather is in the hospital," Roland said quickly, already grabbing his car keys. "Heart attack. It's bad." They made it to the hospital in 20 minutes. The emergency room was full of noise and movement, nurses running, doctors shouting, machines beeping fast. Roland's mother sat in the waiting area, crying. "They said he needs surgery tonight," she sobbed. "But there's no doctor who can do it." "What do you mean?" Roland asked sharply. A tired-looking doctor stepped forward. Mr. Nelson's condition is very serious. The surgery he needs is very delicate. Only a few surgeons in the world can do it successfully. Then call one of them. Roland shouted. We did, the doctor said. The closest one is in South Africa. He can't get here for at least 12 hours. Your grandfather doesn't have that long. Bridget felt something shift deep inside her. Her thoughts became clear. Suddenly, she could see the surgery in her mind, every step, every cut, every stitch. She had done this before. Many times. I can do it, she said. Everyone turned to stare at her. What? The doctor asked, confused. I said I can perform the surgery. I've done it before. With all respect. My name is Dr. Amora Basie. The words came out strong and sure. I trained at Johns Hopkins. I've done this same operation 17 times, all successful. Now take me to your operating room before this man dies. Her voice was full of power and certainty. I need to see proof of your identity, the doctor said weakly. Bridget began listing her license number, her training details, the surgery she'd led, and names of doctors who could confirm it all. The information flowed out of her easily, like water from a burst pipe. The doctor's eyes went wide. You're the surgeon who disappeared 3 years ago. Everyone thought you were dead. I got better, she said calmly. Now move. Within minutes, they prepared the operating room. Bridget washed her hands, moving with perfect confidence. Roland tried to follow her in. Bridget. Amora, she corrected. Inside that room, I'm Dr. Basie. Trust me. I do, he said. Then let me do my work. The moment she stepped into the operating room, everything came back. This was who she truly was. This was what she was born to do. Her hands moved fast and sure. Every cut was perfect. Every decision, right. The team around her worked silently, watching her in awe. As she worked, memories flooded her mind, not small pieces anymore, but full, clear pictures. Her childhood in the Basie mansion. Medical school. Her first surgery. Her parents' proud faces. And then, Jennifer. Jennifer Nwosu, the gardener's daughter. Her closest friend as a child. The girl who shared her secrets and dreams. But the girl who later grew to hate her. You have everything, Jennifer had said one night, drunk and angry. The name, the money, the respect. And me? Nothing. You have me, Amora had said softly. You're like a sister to me. Jennifer had laughed bitterly. But I'm not, am I? I'm just the gardener's daughter. I'll never be a Basie. Bridget had thought it was just the alcohol talking. She was wrong. The memories continued as her hands kept moving. The cliff. The rain. Jennifer's angry face. I deserve what you have. I'm smarter than you. I work harder. The needle. The drug burning through her veins. Her legs going weak. After tonight, I'll be Amora Basie. And you'll be nothing. Amora gasped but didn't stop. Her hands never paused. Now she remembered everything. Waking up on the beach, confused and hurt. The Okafor family finding her, feeding her, giving her a home and a name. She had lost Amora Basie but found Bridget Okafor. And now, she was both. Dr. Basie, a nurse asked gently. Are you all right? I'm fine, she said. Hand me the sutures. She finished the surgery with perfect focus. When the last stitch was done, the heart monitor showed a strong, steady beat. He's stable, she said. Watch him closely for the next 24 hours. He'll make a full recovery. The room filled with quiet applause. Bridget walked out of the operating room and almost collapsed. Roland caught her. Is he okay? He'll live, she said, breathing hard. Full recovery expected. Then she looked at him with clear, bright eyes. And I remember everything now. Every single thing. Everything? He asked. Yes. My name is Amora Basie. Jennifer Nwosu was my best friend. She pushed me off a cliff 3 years ago and stole my life. Then she killed my parents when they got suspicious. Her voice was calm but cold. And now she's about to marry your cousin. Roland's mother rushed to them. You saved him. You saved my father. His family, Amora said simply. The next day, in the waiting room, the family gathered. Henry paced near the window, his phone in hand. I don't understand, Roland's mother said. You're a famous doctor. Why were you selling fish? Because 3 years ago, someone tried to erase me from the world, Amora said. She looked straight at Henry. And that someone is about to join your family. You mean Jennifer? Henry laughed nervously. That's crazy. Is it? Ask her about the real Amora Basie. Ask where she was 3 years ago. Ask why there's no record of her before she suddenly appeared as a distant cousin. She showed me papers, birth certificates. All fake, Amora said firmly. She took out her phone and showed the hospital files. Here's proof. I'm Dr. Amora Basie. I did Roland's heart surgery 3 years ago. I saved his life. Then Jennifer Nwosu pushed me off a cliff and left me for dead. The room went silent. Roland's grandfather's eyes opened slowly. His weak voice broke the silence. Amora? Is that really you? She went to his side. Yes, sir. It's me. Your father was my best friend, he said softly. I held you when you were born. I thought you were gone. You almost lost me, she whispered. And Jennifer? She's a liar. A killer. And I'll prove it. Then I believe you, he said, squeezing her hand. The Nelson family stands with you. Henry hurried out of the room, already dialing his phone. Amora knew who he was calling. Let him warn her, she told Roland. Let Jennifer know I'm coming. I want her to be afraid. Are you sure? Roland asked quietly. I've never been more sure, she said. Then she looked into his eyes. She took everything from me. Now I'm taking it all back. Roland smiled. Then let's give her a wedding she'll never forget. Amora Basie was back. And this time, she wasn't going anywhere. A week after the surgery, Amora was fully herself again. The confusion was gone, replaced by quiet strength and clear purpose. She looked at Roland as they drove through the city lights. It's time, she said simply. He nodded. Then we go back to where it all began. The Basie mansion stood tall in the moonlight, exactly as Amora remembered, 3 floors of white stone, gardens stretching wide, and the fountain where she once read her medical books. She drew a steady breath. This was my home. He parked down the street, away from view. Are you ready? No, she said softly. But let's do it anyway. That night was Jennifer's pre-wedding party. Every rich family in Lagos would be there. Perfect timing. The guards would be watching the crowd, not the house. They waited until dark, then slipped through the back gate. Amora knew every path. She had grown up here. The study is upstairs, she whispered. My father kept all the important papers there. The house was silent except for faint music from the party. Her hands trembled as she opened the study door. Everything looked the same, her father's desk, his books, even his reading glasses on the side table. He's really gone, she said quietly. I'm sorry, Roland murmured. She made it look like an accident, she said bitterly. The papers are behind that bookshelf, there's a secret panel. She pressed a spot on the wall, a soft click sounded, and the panel opened. Inside was a leather book, the Basie family record, their handwritten history of births, deaths, and marriages. Amora turned to her own page, her birth certificate, her medical degree, photos of her parents holding her as a baby. This is enough proof. Almost, she said. The book opens only for a true Basie. My eyes unlocked it. Jennifer's can't. Something creaked behind them. Very clever, Amora. They turned, it was Jennifer standing at the door, holding a gun. I knew you'd come, she said with a smile. You just couldn't stay away. You tried to kill me, Amora said, her voice cold. I did, Jennifer replied proudly. The old Amora died that night. I took her place. You killed my parents too. You're a monster. Maybe. But a rich monster, and soon to be a Nelson. Jennifer looked away. Then why let us get this far? Roland asked. So I can kill you both, Jennifer said calmly. And tell everyone you were robbers. Self-defense. Sad, but believable. She raised the gun. Goodbye, old friend. Roland stepped in front of Amora. You'll have to shoot me first. Jennifer smiled. Gladly. The lights went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Amora grabbed Roland's hand. Come on, she whispered. They ran through the dark. Glass shattered as a bullet smashed the window. Alarms screamed across the mansion. The panic room. Jennifer shouted. They're heading to the panic room. But Amora wasn't. She pulled Roland down the stairs, through the kitchen. Where are we going? He asked. Trust me, she said. They reached the wine cellar. Amora pushed aside a shelf of bottles, revealing a small door. My father built this during the war, a secret tunnel to the main road. Roland blinked. You really are full of surprises. They crawled through the narrow tunnel as Jennifer's voice echoed behind them. Find them. They can't leave this house alive. The tunnel opened into thick bushes near the street. They tumbled out, dirty and breathless. Roland's car was 50 meters away. Run! Amora gasped. They raced across the grass as gunfire cracked behind them. One bullet hit the ground near her foot. Roland shoved her into the car, jumped in, and hit the gas. More shots followed. The back window shattered. Are you hit? She shouted. No. Just drive. They didn't stop until they reached an empty parking garage miles away. Roland's hands shook. That was insane, he said, breathing hard. That was only the beginning, Amora said, clutching the family record. But we got what we came for. Now she knows we're coming for her. Good, Amora said firmly. Let her worry. Let her make mistakes. Roland looked at her quietly. You've changed since your memories came back. I'm not just Bridget anymore, she said. And I'm not only Amora either. I'm both, and Jennifer should be afraid of that. What's next? He asked. We wait for the wedding. Henry won't cancel, he's too proud. And Jennifer can't run without looking guilty. In 3 days, we'll expose her in front of everyone. And if she tries to kill us first, then we'll be ready. 0.3s. Back at Roland's apartment, they spread the evidence on the table. Pictures, documents, medical files, and the Basie family record. This is enough, Roland said. We could take it to the police. No, Amora replied. Jennifer has money and power. She'll pay her way out. We'll end this in public, then let the law handle what's left. Roland gave a small smile. You're scary when you're angry. You should see me when I'm really angry, she said, half smiling. He laughed, then grew serious. Amora. Bridget, whoever you are, when this is over, what happens to us? She met his eyes. Do you want it to end? No, he said. He stepped closer. Just to be sure, are we still pretending? I don't know, she whispered. Are you? Not even a little. He kissed her. This time, nothing about it was fake. When they pulled apart, Amora smiled. You kissed a fish seller before. Now you're kissing a doctor and a CEO. That's an upgrade. Roland smiled. I kissed the same woman both times, the one who saved my life twice. Once on the table, once in my life. That's really sweet, she said with a smile. I have my moments. They held each other in the quiet apartment. Outside, somewhere out there, Jennifer was planning her next move, but Amora wasn't afraid. She had survived the fall, the amnesia, and the loss of her identity. Jennifer had tried to erase her, but failed. Now it was Jennifer's turn to face what happened when you tried to destroy Amora Basie. 3 more days, she said. Then we end this, Roland replied. Together. The wedding hall looked beautiful, white flowers everywhere, a live band playing softly, and plenty of food and drinks. Jennifer had spent a lot of money to make this day perfect. Then Amora walked in wearing a black dress. In Yoruba culture, wearing black to a wedding meant one thing: trouble was coming. Everyone turned to look at her. Isn't that the fish seller? Someone whispered. What's she doing here? Someone should tell her to go. Jennifer saw her from across the hall. Their eyes met. For a second, fear showed on her face before she quickly smiled. Bridget, she said sweetly. I'm happy you came. My name is Amora, she replied. And I wouldn't miss this for anything. Jennifer's smile shook a little. Henry walked up angrily. You weren't invited. I'm family, Amora said calmly. And I brought a wedding gift for the happy couple. We don't want anything from you, he said. Oh, you'll want this one, Amora answered. The ceremony started. Jennifer looked perfect in her white gown, smiling like a queen. But Amora knew the truth. When the priest asked if anyone had an objection, Amara stood up. I do. The crowd murmured. Henry tried to move forward, but Roland stopped him. Let her speak, Roland's grandfather said firmly. I want to hear this. Amara walked slowly to the front. All eyes were on her. 3 years ago, she said, Jennifer Nwosu pushed me off a cliff and left me for dead. Then she took my name, my family, and my life. Jennifer forced a smile. I don't know who that is. My name is Jennifer Basie. Really? Amara said. Let's find out. She lifted a brown family book. People began to whisper. This book opens only for real members of the Basie family, Amara said. Watch. She placed her thumb on the lock and looked into the small light. The book opened. Then she gave it to Jennifer. Your turn. This is nonsense, Jennifer said. If you're truly a Basie, it will open. Try it. Jennifer tried, but the book stayed closed. It's broken, she said quickly. Then explain this, Amara said, pointing to a big screen behind her. Photos appeared, birth papers, hospital records, and childhood pictures. Each one showed Amara's face. I am Dr. Amara Basie, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Emmanuel Basie, a doctor and surgeon. This woman, she pointed at Jennifer, is Jennifer Nwosu, the gardener's daughter. She tried to kill me and take my place. People shouted in surprise. She's lying. Jennifer cried. I have my own papers. Fake ones, Amara said coldly. I already checked. There is no record of your birth under the Basie name. Jennifer's fake smile disappeared. You should have stayed dead, she said angrily. But I didn't, Amara replied. Now everyone knows the truth. Security guards started walking toward Jennifer. She suddenly stepped back, knocking over a chair. Stay away from me, she shouted. Her voice shook, but everyone could see she was panicking. Just like you hurt my parents. Amara said sharply. They were going to remove me from the will. Jennifer shouted. After I got rid of you. I deserved their money. Roland spoke calmly. You just confessed. Everyone heard you. Jennifer looked around. Every guest had their phones up, recording. She dropped the chair and ran, but police officers were already waiting by the door. Roland had called them earlier. They arrested her for murder, attempted murder, fraud, and identity theft. As they took her away, Jennifer looked back. I should have pushed you harder, she spat. You should have pushed better, Amara replied. The room stayed quiet. Then Roland's grandfather stood up. Ladies and gentlemen, he said proudly, this is the real Amara Basie, daughter of my dear friend Emmanuel, a great doctor, and the true heir of the Basie family. The guests clapped loudly. People who once ignored Amara now wanted to shake her hand. She didn't stop for them. She walked straight to Roland. How do you feel? He asked softly. Tired, angry, but free, she said. Can we go home? Which home? The Basie mansion is yours now. I meant wherever you are. He smiled and kissed her forehead. Then let's go home. They left the crowd behind. The Lagos night was warm, filled with lights and sounds. So what happens now? Roland asked as he drove. I'll rebuild my family's name. Open my hospital again. And make sure Jennifer stays in prison. Sounds like a lot of work, he said. It is. But I'll need help. Think you can handle being married to a doctor and a company owner? Is that a proposal? We're already married, remember? That was fake. Was it? She teased. Because it feels real to me. To me too. Then let's make it real. Roland stopped the car and looked at her. Amara Bridget Basie, will you marry me for real this time? Yes, she said, smiling. But promise me one thing, no cotton candy ever again. Deal. They kissed as cars honked around them. Two people who found love in the strangest way, through a fake marriage that became real. A fish seller who became a doctor. A runaway CEO who found peace. They had been broken and lost, but together they found home. A week after the wedding disaster, things began to fall apart. Henry was furious. His engagement was ruined, his reputation destroyed. Everyone in Lagos knew he had almost married a criminal. And he wanted revenge. This is your fault, he shouted at Roland in the office. You and that woman embarrassed me in front of everyone. Jennifer did that herself, Roland said quietly. We only showed the truth. I'll make you pay for this, Henry hissed. 2 days later, a black car suddenly turned sharply into Roland's lane. His vehicle lost control and veered off the road, flipped twice, and crashed into a ditch. Amora got the call while at the hospital. There's been an accident, the nurse said. Your husband is in emergency. She ran faster than she ever had before. He lay on the bed, his face bruised, one arm in a cast. How bad is it? She asked quickly. Broken arm, mild head injury, some internal bleeding, the doctor said. Then he paused. He's showing signs of vision loss. The crash may have affected his eyes. Is it permanent? We can't tell yet. It could be temporary, or not. She stayed beside him all night. When he finally opened his eyes, they didn't focus. I'm here, she said, holding his hand. I can't see you, he whispered. Everything's dark. Her heart ached. It might be temporary, she said quickly. We'll fix it. Henry did this, he murmured. I know it was him. Don't think about that now. Just rest. Later, the doctor called her aside. The injuries don't match his symptoms, he said. The damage isn't enough to cause blindness. I can't explain it, unless he's pretending. She frowned. Pretending? Why would he do that? I don't know, the doctor replied. But be careful. Sometimes people test how others feel about them after trauma. Back in the room, Roland sat silently, staring into the distance. I think it's time to take you home, she said gently. You'll recover faster there. I can't take care of myself like this. Then I'll take care of you. She brought him to her apartment, smaller, quiet, warm. Careful, she said at the door. 3 steps up. Thanks, he murmured. 4 days, Amora guided him around, helped him eat, dressed his wounds, read to him. But little things didn't add up. When keys fell, his head turned. When she moved a chair, he walked around it without hitting it. When her phone rang, his eyes followed the sound. Finally, one morning she folded her arms. You can see, can't you? What? No, I told you. You looked right at me. Silence. Then he sighed. All right. You caught me. Her eyes narrowed. Why pretend to be blind? He hesitated. Because I needed to know if you'd still love me if I had nothing, not even my sight. She stared at him. You thought I'd only love you if you were perfect. I've lost count of the people who only stayed because of what I could give them, he said softly. Money, position, name. I had to know if you were different. You didn't have to fake an injury to find that out, she said quietly. I didn't know any other way. Tears welled in her eyes. You're a fool, she whispered. Maybe, he said, but I had to be sure. She walked closer, placed his hand on her cheek. Does this feel like someone who loves you for your money? He shook his head slowly. Then don't ever test me like that again, she said. You could have just asked. He smiled weakly. So, you do love me? Of course, she said, even though you're the most annoying man I've ever met. That's fair. She laughed through her tears. You can see, right? Perfectly. Good. Because you're going to clean up your mess. Yes, doctor. She smiled and leaned closer. You're lucky I love you. I know, he whispered. And I'll never test that again. Their lips met, slow, warm, and certain. For the first time, there were no secrets between them. No pretending. No fear. Just truth. 2 people who had built love out of chaos. A fake marriage that had become something real. A bond strong enough to survive anything, even a lie meant to prove love. They were finally home. 3 months later, Amora stood in front of a new building with a large sign, Basie Medical Center, quality healthcare for all. Ready for the grand opening? Roland asked beside her. More than ready. The hospital was her dream come true. A place where everyone, rich or poor, could get the same quality care. Where money didn't determine who lived or died. She cut the ribbon. Cameras flashed. People clapped. Inside, patients were already waiting. A mother with a sick child. An old man with chest pains. Amora treated them all. Her hands moved with confidence. This was who she was meant to be. That evening, Both families gathered at the Basie mansion for dinner. Roland's mother sat next to Mrs. Okafor, laughing. Roland's grandfather was telling stories. Two completely different worlds, now one family. "Where's Henry?" someone asked suddenly. The room went quiet. "Henry is no longer part of this family," Roland's grandfather said firmly. After the police investigated Roland's accident, they found proof he paid someone to run Roland off the road. He's been arrested for attempted murder. "And even if he gets out," Roland's mother added, her voice cold, "he's been removed from Nelson Corporation. No inheritance. No family name. Nothing. He chose revenge over family, and now he pays the price." "Good riddance," someone muttered. After dinner, Roland stood up with his wine glass. "I want to say something." Everyone quieted down. 6 months ago, I crashed into a fish stall and met the most amazing woman I'd ever seen. She saved me that day and every day since." He looked at Amora. "You are my everything." He got down on one knee. Amora's heart stopped. "What are you doing? We're already married." "That was a contract. This is real." He pulled out a ring. "Will you marry me again? A real wedding this time. No lies. No games. Just us." Tears filled her eyes. "Yes. Always yes." The room filled with cheers. Roland's mother cried. Mrs. Okafor cried. Even Roland's grandfather looked emotional. Roland slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her. Later that night, they sat on the balcony, watching the sparkling lights of Lagos below. "Hey Roland?" "Yes?" "Thank you for crashing into my fish stall that day. Thank you for hiding me." She turned to face him. "And thank you for loving all of me. The fish seller. The doctor. The lost girl. And the woman who found herself again." A phone buzzed. Amora checked it and smiled. "What is it?" Roland asked. "Jennifer was sentenced to 25 years in prison. It's finally over. Both of them are gone now. Henry and Jennifer. They both tried to destroy us and failed. Because we had something they never understood," Amora said softly. "Real love. Real family." Roland placed his hand on her stomach. "When were you planning to tell me?" Her eyes widened. "How did you know?" "I notice everything about you." Amora's hand covered his. "I found out yesterday. We're having a baby." Roland's eyes filled with tears. He kissed her gently. A real family. The realest. 6 months later, their daughter Grace was born. Both families gathered at the hospital. The Nelsons and the Okafors. Rich and poor. Blood and chosen family. All united by love. Amora looked at her husband and daughter. Her family. Her home. Once upon a time, she'd been lost. A girl with no memory, selling fish to survive. Now she was found. A doctor. A CEO. A wife and a mother. Life had taken her through pain and betrayal. Through fear and loss. But it had also given her love. Family. Purpose. Every struggle had been worth it. Every tear had led her here. To this moment and to this perfect, beautiful life. And as she looked at Grace's sleeping face, Amora knew one thing for certain. This was exactly where she was meant to be. Dear viewers, what lesson do you learn from the story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also turn on the notification bell for more interesting stories.